Dot, dot, dot. Okay, we're live.
Yay! Welcome to another awesome edition of Con at Home, led by the lovely Amanda Brand of Geek4A.net. Tonight we're talking about... Was that a good introduction of you?
Yes, thank you.
Tonight we're talking about tabletop gaming, one of my favorite things to do. The time at my husband, actually, which is a funny story. But I want you guys to introduce yourselves, first of all, and we'll get started. We'll start with Amanda.
Okay. Well, like Lily said, I'm Amanda Brand. I write at Geek4A.net. And that's basically where you'll find me. Sometimes I write for Mia and Liz over at Superhero-esque, and that's a lot of fun. And then on Twitter, I'm at Geek4A1, if you ever want to check me out there.
Sweet.
Donut.
Go ahead. Why did you do that? Why?
Is it my turn, or?
Yes, it is.
I don't want to butt ahead. I'm Casey. I write for my own blog, The Written Words, which is worshipwrittenwords.blogspot.ca. I also do mainly a lot of board game and card game reviews for Paper Droids, and I do have one post up on Superhero-esque, which I was really excited for. So, yay.
Yeah, is it just her voice sounded robotic on
Yeah,
mine?
you sound like a robot.
Thanks.
I wasn't sure if it's just me.
It's like on robot mode now.
I got an old microphone on my barrel monitor. That could be it. I don't know.
Oh, when you get closer, it stops.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I guess.
That was funny.
Is it better, or?
No, it's not.
Sorry. I'm gonna fix it.
Oh no.
Maybe it randomly started. Maybe it'll randomly go away.
Yeah, okay. Fingers crossed.
If not, it's thoroughly entertaining, so I'm okay with it.
Okay.
My name's Felicia Morris. I actually am an admin assistant and writer, so I blog mostly at my site, which is myfreelancelife.com, and I also have a personal geeky blog site called nerdythingsomething.wordpress.com. So, I have been trying to do more geeky writing. I just submitted my first review for gamers.com. I'm hoping to be like a regular writer for them, so I'm very excited about that. And I met my husband at Dragon Con in the Tabletop gaming area.
Aww.
It's a wonderful story. I'll share with you later. But let's get to the good stuff first of all, if anybody has any questions who's watching, go ahead and tweet them to hashtag FGB Tabletop.
Yep.
Alright, so this is an easy question. Favorite tabletop games? I try to limit it to 5 at the very most.
Okay.
I thought you said it was an easy question.
Well, yeah, you can pick them quickly, so.
Okay. I'll go with Ticket to Ride, Alhambra, Pandemic. Resistance is probably in the top 5. And Gloom.
I have not heard of Gloom.
I love Gloom. My family is so deranged that when we play it together, it's hilarious.
Go ahead, Robot Casey, go!
Okay. I start doing this.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see, top 5. Really quick, probably Power Grid. My boyfriend loves it. Carcassonne. My friends love Love Letter. I can't say Love Letter, which is good. I'm trying to think. I just bought a bunch of new games. Betrayal at the House on the Hill, which I don't own, but I've been obsessing about on the internet. I pre-ordered a copy. I ordered a copy. It should be coming in later this month. This game. I just played Hanabi for the first time recently.
Okay.
Nice to collaborative games. It's so weird. Yeah, alright, we'll stick with those.
That's good.
I know, I just thought of 5 more I should add to my favorite list of 5.
I don't have. I may have more than 5, but it's tough because I'm kind of picky about them. But ones that I love, the first one that I was ever taught was Puerto Rico. That's always been like my personal favorite. Other ones I like include Dominion, um, Ticket to Ride, um, Small World, and there's another one that I'm forgetting now. But Citadels. It's a
Ooh,
small.
that was another one I wanted to put on
Yeah,
my
Citadels is a definite favorite. I think that was like 4, so we'll go with that.
Okay.
So if anybody out there is watching and wants to just talk about what games they like, go ahead and write it up. My goal was just to learn about new games for myself, and that's why I'm started moderating. All right, so least favorite games, games that you tried and you hated. Go ahead, Amanda.
Tried what I hated.
You may not have any, which is good. But
Ooh, there's this one game. They blogged about it on the Geeky Hostess, so I bought it to try it out. It's called something like Geek Wars or
okay.
something like that. I have a review of it on my site. It was so bad. It was the worst game in the world. Like there's a whole bunch of nerdy people trying to play the game, and it's like a trivia
Yeah.
type game, and it was just ridiculous. Like, one of them was like, what's the favorite food for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? And it gave you 4 possible answers.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow!
I'm like, this is a horrible game.
Yeah, that is a horrible game.
Unless it's an icebreaker question, it's just no.
No.
Wow.
I'm going to pull it up and put my review
Yeah.
on Twitter
That
in
review
case
on
anyone wants to.
and make sure to hashtag it. All right.
Yeah.
Do you have any games that you don't particularly like?
Okay. Recently I finally got to try out my Big Bang Theory version of Clue.
Oh, that sounds like it would be fun.
I love Big Bang Theory, but it was annoying to play with 2 people. Like, we had special action cards, and one of them I couldn't even use because there were only 2 people in the game, and it was pointless.
Oh.
Which, like, they should cooperate, make sure everything is good for, like, if it says 2 players, I feel like everything should work for 2 players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one more I want to mention. It's not really a least favorite because I feel like it's not fair to say that. Since I do reviews occasionally for Paper Droids, I recently got the opportunity. A gaming company in Israel was doing a Kickstarter for a game, and they sent me a free copy, which was awesome. The only problem is when me and my boyfriend sit down to play it, we couldn't play it. It was unplayable with the instructions and the cards we had. We could not figure it out. It took us forever, and it was so frustrating. But I really, like, since it's an in-progress thing, I don't want to say it's one of my least favorites. I feel like if they modified it, we were actually able to play it. I feel like it could be a lot better. It was called Maha Yoda, I believe. I think their Kickstarter might be dead by now. It's been a couple months. But hopefully they fixed a couple things. Because I felt so bad that I couldn't do a review, too. I felt so awful.
Oh man, speaking of unplayable games, I said Gloom is in my top 5, but I have not been able to figure out how to play with any of the expansions because they don't include any rules or any instructions with the expansions. So I'm like, I don't understand what to do with the rest of these cards. It doesn't say. I've even looked online and there's nothing. I don't know how other people are playing it.
That's weird.
Crap, I just thought of another favorite game.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, really quick. I have the original version of Pokemon Trainer.
Oh,
Like with the first 150, I think it's 151 actually, because Mewtwo was in it. But like the first edition of it, my brother had it, he gave it to me. It's so much fun. Okay, sorry I cut you off.
That's okay. Let's see. Least favorite, it's a game that I kind of enjoy, but I'm not very good at it, so I don't like it, and it's Galaxy Trucker. My husband, all of my friends love this game, but I'm just not very good at it. But it's a well thought out game. The game itself isn't bad, I'm just not. I just suck at it, so I don't like it. one of my friends introduced Dune to us, the old school Dune game, and it was very old, so it was a little bit boring. Didn't like that one too much. We had fun playing it together, so that's probably another one that I didn't like quite so much. I can't think of any that I just absolutely hated, though. I don't think I've had any like that. I've gotten enjoyment out of almost everything I've played.
It's hard to hate tabletop games, I feel like.
Yeah, it is hard to hate them.
Mm-hmm.
It does not suck, yeah.
All right, so I thought this would be good.
Pour it in. Put it in the cup
Do
and pour
you
it in.
guys have suggestions on games for beginners? So folks who may not have played tabletop games before or are used to some of the traditional ones like, Monopoly and Scrabble. What are some good, virgin, unusual tabletop games?
My go-to is typically Ticket to Ride or a game that's a cooperative game, so you can have all the stuff up and show people how to do it, like Pandemic.
That's good.
For me, obviously, I don't know, you say Catan or Catan is usually one of your go-to gateway games that gets listed. Actually, if you can remind me, what's the hashtag for this chat again?
FGB Tabletop.
Okay, there is a video. There's this web series I adore that's based around board games called Board with Life, B-O-A-R-D. And they did a video that said 5 gateway games that are Catan. I know one of them was Ticket to Ride.
Yeah.
But I will tweet the link to that if you guys want to look at it or if anybody else wants to. Because I found that very helpful when I was doing a couple of reviews. So I'll find that and I will put that in wherever it is. It'll take me a second to find it, but I'm listening, I swear.
Yeah.
If you have a lot of parties and you want a game that could also be used as a drinking game, which is a gateway game for some of the more partygoers, it's definitely Red Dragon Inn. That was kind of my gateway game.
Yeah, that's a great. We have all the games for that one. That one's awesome.
Because before that, like, I'd never played, I didn't even know that half the board games or tabletop games existed. But when I started playing that is when I started looking more into other games and found more stuff.
That's a great example. Let's see, besides the ones that you mentioned, I do like some of the card games. Typically, sometimes the more complex board games will get confused about instructions and things like that. So some of the simpler card games, like maybe Dominion or Citadels, any games that just involve cards and cards only.
Ooh, Flux is good too.
Oh yeah, I haven't played Flux, but I've heard that one's great for beginners. So I think those are my gateway games. But Red Dragon Inn is actually pretty freaking awesome.
I love that. I love Bane Pookie.
Yeah.
Rabbit. He's my favorite.
Since you guys mentioned cooperative games, I know I mentioned already, Hanabi would be a good gateway game. It's a card game, and it's pretty simple, and it's weird because I'm not used to collaborative games, but that's, I think, it'd be a good example. It's not overly difficult. It'd be a good gateway game, I think.
Another one that I have yet to play is that one. I've seen so many now, and I haven't played them yet, but that's another good one. I completely forgot about my absolute favorite game. You may not have heard of it. It's called Cash and Guns. And it's very, very simple. Everyone has a foam gun, and you're all, in this giant bank heist. And so essentially you get together in a circle, and you determine who's going to keep the money. So you have bang cards and missed cards. And so you have to basically put down a card face down. You don't know who it is. You count to like 3, and everyone points somebody with their gun. So you have to either back out, in case you get shot, or you try to, face whatever your fate is. And it's a really funny game.
That's cool.
That was a game that I think I flirted with my husband with a lot before we started dating. That was just such a funny game. People were shooting themselves for no reason and putting themselves out. It was great. That one's awesome. And another one we played that night also was Quelf, which my husband's convinced it's a drinking game only, but I love Quelf.
My sister loves that game.
Yeah. Very random, but
It is. It's crazy. It's awesome.
all right. So I know Amanda mentioned this when she was posting it in the community, but what are y'all's thoughts on Tabletop? I only watched one episode. I don't usually watch multiple episodes. But just give me your feedback and thoughts on what Tabletop did as far as helping gamers.
Well, it certainly introduced me to a lot more games. Like, I didn't know. Most of the time, I haven't even heard of a game before it's featured on there.
Yeah.
There's maybe 3 or 4 that I'd heard of before he played them. And I also think it's nice sometimes when you have a game and you're not quite sure what the directions mean, and then you can see someone else playing it and they have like the experts who come in and tell them exactly what they're doing wrong. So that's also helpful. So it has some good practical applications.
Yeah. That's good.
I was playing last night on Earth, and I'm like, I don't know how to do this on Earth. And so I watched it a couple of times. I'm like, okay, I think I know what's happening. I got the instructions. I'm like, it's 30 pages. I don't know what's going on.
Oh. So for me, first off, who doesn't love Will Wheaton? Let's be honest. I do really like Tabletop. I think one of the first episodes I watched, the only reason I watched it is because one of the people on the show was Ashley Birch, who is another YouTuber I'm kind of obsessed with. That was for Betrayal at the House on the Hill, which is a game I'm so psyched for after watching that playthrough like 6 times. The only downside is just like everybody, you haven't heard of a board game until it's on the show, and then everyone's heard of it, and then it sells out everywhere. And it takes so long for games to reprint, which is so sad. I do love Tabletop, and I found it's helped me find other board gaming type channels and videos just like it. Like, for example, like Board with Life is a web series, but they play games as well and a bunch of stuff. They're hilarious. So it's introduced me to board games as well as other board game related channels and other such groups and things.
Yeah.
Casey, your voice is fixed. I don't know what happened.
No more robot dance. Can't do it well. This whole time, if you're looking at me, it's going to be me doing robot, and then which how we get on tidbits the whole time.
So let's see. I did only watch the introductory episode because I'm terrible at watching webisodes. I've seen bits and pieces of other ones, but I do think it introduced just the general public to all these games that I've known about for a few years now. And it made me happy. Shows make me happy in general. And I think that's good, though, that it helps you review rules that you may have forgotten or don't understand.
And sometimes the episodes are hilarious. I thought the Gloom episode was hilarious. I bought the game like at 15 minutes into that episode. I'm like, I need that. That has to happen. That one and the Resistance one game, that's like, got it. It's happening.
Now, are there any games that you guys have heard about a lot and have yet to play and really want to play?
Arkham Horror. And I actually have not played Catan yet.
Oh, yeah, both of those are
I've
good.
never played it. Every time like my friends get together to play board games, and the times I can't make it, they play it, and the times I can make it, they don't play it.
You're like, oh.
Wow.
I'm like, I need to play this game. Like, I feel like it's a tarnish on my nerd cred that I haven't played that yet.
That's awesome.
I don't want to cut you off, Amanda. Were on the other ones? Bleh, words.
Nope. I was done.
Okay. A lot of the games I kind of get really excited for, I found out about from Board with Life. Obviously, Betrayal at the House on the Hill, I've heard a ton about and want and have ordered and I'm waiting for desperately. Board with Life has gotten me into a few. There's one, I think it's Mr. Jack. I think that's the name of it. I'm not sure. It's got Sherlock Holmes and other characters in it. I can't quite remember. Another one, just because the video was funny, I don't even know if the game would be fun, just the video was really funny, is for Fearsome Floors.
Huh.
That one looks good. They kept like flipping the pieces and they kept going to flip to the flop, and it was just really funny. Which is silly. And there's one more. I was supposed to be doing homework today before work, and I didn't because I watched a 30-minute playthrough of a board game. It was on Board with Life, and it's a new one that's you can pre-order. Dead of Winter. It's like a zombie apocalypse game, but there's a lot of strategy and resources, and it's got massive replayability. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
That is awesome.
I'm a big fan of zombies. Big fan.
I feel like I'm so behind now because I'm just looking at BoardGameGeek.com at just what's popular right now. And there's nothing that I feel like I absolutely want to play that I haven't already played.
Or maybe you're just ahead of the curve then.
Maybe I am, I don't know. We actually, one game that was a little bit disappointing that's on this list is the Legendary Marbles card game. It's a little, it's not simplistic, but it's seriously random. It's very difficult to win. Depending on the villain, sometimes it's really easy and then other times it's impossible. So my husband didn't like it that much, so I only played like twice. But it's one of my games that I personally own, other than Cash and Guns. So, but I can't think of anything. I'm going to keep looking, but I can't think of anything right now on this list that I want to play. I'm going to have to start looking these up now because a lot of these I haven't even heard of. So, I love Board Game Geek for that reason. So another question, and I'll mention my con experience, but have you guys played board games in large with strangers? At cons or at stores and that kind of thing?
I went to, not this year, but last year, International Tabletop Day at a store, and at my local game store at my parents' place. Because I was home for Easter. I think it was the day before Easter. But so I was there for most of the day, and it was a lot of fun. I got to play a lot of games that I had been interested in, but hadn't gotten to play before. I was actually introduced to Pandemic and learned how to play Pandemic I was taught by this guy who actually judges Pandemic tournaments. So that was really nice, because he was able to explain everything really easily and knew all the rules and everything. I learned it really, really fast. So that was a lot of fun. The library down at my university has tabletop game days every third Saturday, and I've gone to a couple of those. And then my friends, or even my family, would get together and we're like, hey, let's just play some games all night. And we do. So that's a lot of fun.
Very nice. Sorry.
I was just going to say, and at conventions, whenever there's a lull, sometimes I wander over the room.
Okay. I haven't played at any conventions before. They did have a couple tables where they had some games going. I recently went to Niagara Falls Comic Con in early June. But I was with my boyfriend, and my boyfriend doesn't like people. So it sounds so bad. So we didn't end up playing any games, but I think just bought my first copy of Carcassonne, and then we went back and played it the next day. So, but I first really got into board games was my first year in university, and I was a member of the computer science club, and they do a board game day every once in a while, on a random Saturday. And that's where I got introduced to most games. That's where I played Carcassonne for the first time. That's where I played Apples to Apples, Cursing Against Humanity for the first time, which are both awesome. They always like to play Riskopoly, which I'll never get into because I know it'll take an eternity. You guys ever heard of that when they combine Monopoly and Risk, and it's this huge thing? And
oh god, that sounds insane.
These guys are nuts. So I'll do group nights with them, and I've gone to one or two parties where we've gotten to play board games. I have my 22nd birthday is happening in August, and I'm bringing my friends to Niagara Falls, Clifton Hill, and then we're coming back early just because I want to play board games all night. That's my day. That's what we get to do.
I love board games. So let's see. I was introduced to board games. Oh, it's been ages. I have a lot of geeky friends back home in Columbia. So most of my friends have introduced me to one board game or another. The first one was Puerto Rico, and I think my friend Ashley, who also introduced me to my now husband, taught that game to everyone at a friend's house. But that friend has also taught me games like Citadels and Dominion. So pretty much most of my closest friends play tabletop games. And actually my two friends that go to DragonCon regularly, that's the only thing they do pretty much. They just stay in the gaming room 24/7. And that's also what my husband and brother-in-law do. So that's how they ended up meeting, was the year before I came. My friend Ashley, she's very cute. She's a cute blonde. She was wearing a costume from Last Mile on Earth. One of the characters' name is Jenny, and she's wears short shorts and His
Oh,
lead.
yeah.
So apparently I
The
caught
farmer's daughter, right?
Yeah, farmer's daughter. So that caught my friend, or my husband's attention, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll play this game. It sounds like fun." So they hadn't played the game before, so that was how they got introduced to each other. So they were known as the Alabama guys. And so the next year I ended up meeting them, playing with them. One year I just decided, to heck with it, I'm going to flirt with this guy. It's really funny. So, and then very quickly after that, within a year and a half, we got married.
Oh,
So DragonCon is a very special place for us.
wow.
Very special vacation, so
Oh, nice.
it was nice. But yeah, that night involved him, like, shooting himself in the head playing Cash and Guns. Well, he was, like, on the floor, because he had to, like, not sit down or something. It was, that game was insane. So, yeah, there was a lot of tender moments playing games at DragonCon. Mostly sober moments, too, actually. There was not a lot of drinking.
nice.
I couldn't say that for years past when we were gaming together, so yeah, that year was a sober. So
And one of my friends had a gaming party and went over there, and I'm just like, where's all the alcohol? Like, I've never been to a gaming party without any alcohol.
yeah, we live kind of far out, so we don't go to stores very often, but we have gone just trying things. And we play with our family too, so we play Ticket to Ride over the 4th. It was nice.
Nice.
But yeah, that's our 1 week basically to play games as much as we can in this DragonCon. So
I need to go to Dragon Con.
you really should. It's probably one of the more affordable cons, but that depends on where you live.
Yeah. I'm far away from almost every con worth going to.
Not as far as me. I'm in Canada.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
You don't have an excuse with Casey. I remember the Canadian. He was part of like a cosplaying group of hobbits, and he drove from Canada to Atlanta.
Funny.
I'm a little buzzy.
I was looking into going this year, but I'm like, okay, so if I'm teaching on Friday, which I might be doing, I wouldn't be done until 3, and then by the time I'd get in there, it would be like midnight, and then what if I don't have a place to stay? I'm like, I can't check into a hotel room at midnight. I'm like, I don't even know what's happening.
That would be tough. And the main ones are like booked solid, unfortunately.
No, I was thinking about this way in advance.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's not gonna happen. It doesn't
We're
seem
only about
plausible.
3.5 hours away, so even when I was in Columbia, Atlanta was actually the midpoint for Columbia and Birmingham, so it's not a very bad drive. Although Atlanta traffic is horrible, so it's really bad. But it's worth it to play games, and I actually also go to con for other reasons. That's pretty much their like primary thing, but I don't do it as much as I probably should.
Mhm.
But I do enjoy it when I go there. So I try to go at least every day at a time, for a couple hours. So let's see. I have another question for you guys. I just thought of. We were thinking about creating a board game at some point. So
Cool.
if you had the opportunity and unlimited funds to create a board game, what would that be? What do you think?
This is a weird answer, and it involves some non-realistic things, but I've always wanted to play Jumanji, like the real Jumanji.
Oh yeah, with actual animals and stuff. Yes.
Oh, God. I'm scared of
I
you.
loved that movie when I was a kid. It was my favorite
And
thing.
that's perfect. That's perfect.
That movie scared me for a good chunk of childhood.
Yeah.
I was old enough to watch it and not get freaked out. When I began to appreciate Robin Williams, I was able to.
It instilled in me a lifelong discomfort with ginger men with mustaches. That's why I don't like what's it called? CSI Miami.
Oh my gosh, man. We veered off into some other crazy topic. Alright, I'm still thinking of mine, Casey. So,
Okay, sorry.
go ahead. I know that was going
That was just. Okay, I guess okay. Something I would definitely do. I can't think of like a format or anything off the top of my head, but I feel like if I did anything cool like that, it would be chock full of both obvious and obscure nerd references. It has to happen, like, everywhere, not just like she's in another castle, like every reference you can think of.
Squeeze all of them into one game.
But yes,
thought-
that would have to be what's in it. Sorry, that.
I've thought about rewriting all the questions for that one Geek Battle game that I was talking about. Making them
Definitely
legitimate.
I was trying to think. I really can't think of anything. I do like co-op games, so it would definitely be like a multiplayer co-op game. But it'd be fun to have like a D&D type game that isn't quite as serious. So maybe combine like Quelf with D&D, which would be really crazy. You still have to adopt roles and do crazy things, but it would you'd have a set character, and so there'd be a lot of moving around.
That sounds like
Not
fun.
be a game where you would be sitting down the entire time. Be a very active game.
That sounds like it has the potential to be totally awesome.
I think it does. It's almost like LARPing, but there's a board game involved.
Yeah.
I think that would work. It would be very expensive, probably, but it would work.
Worth it.
Totally.
Oh my goodness. Well, I didn't have any other set questions for you guys. I know it's like super early.
I have one.
No,
I have
the question-
another one. I was just thinking how there's a lot of different board games like Catan, however you say it, I don't care, and Carcassonne and things like that that are not just tabletop games, but they have been integrated as games on your phone, like app games.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you guys think this is like a good direction that it could possibly help people buy the real versions and play the tabletop games, or do you think it's not the best idea, or somewhere in between maybe?
I don't know, because I've always played the game, except for Carcassonne, played the game first and then bought the app version to play, like, while I'm just hanging out in the car or on the bus or something. So it's always been for me the other way. I bought Carcassonne, and I still haven't quite figured it out.
I don't like the app version of Carcassonne. I don't mind.
That's when they give you directions on the...
I've never been.
but I feel like it should. It should get people interested in getting the... Because you can't play them with each other, except for maybe the Elder Signs one on the tablets. So if you're like, I really like this game, I want to play it with real people in real people space, and then I guess, theoretically, it should get people buying the games. Theoretically. I don't know. I haven't heard if it has before.
I know you can play Catan with other people. Just it's on the same device is the only thing.
Yeah.
If you have somebody else there, which it works if you're traveling. That's one thing. If you're traveling, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Want to play Catan? You're on a bus, like you can't break out all the pieces. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking to see which one we have. We have Ticket to Ride, which it's pass and play like that. You can do multiple players, but it's on the same device. But you might actually be able to do like online as well. But it's kind of like that debate about whether you want to read the books or watch the movie. It's like you don't really appreciate
Or like...
until you've played the actual board game.
Yeah.
Or like an e-book versus a paper book.
Yeah. Exactly. It's not quite the same feeling,
No.
but I do think
I know I'd much rather play one of my games with somebody else than like play Ticket to Ride on my Kindle or whatever.
it's a fun game on the apps. On the apps.
Yeah, it is.
I have that one, so it's pretty fun.
My mom, I introduced her to Ticket to Ride, and now she plays it on her Kindle a lot. But the thing is, she finds it hard to read, so she always like going like this the entire time. Like, what's the little numbers? What's the little letters?
That's how I feel with some video games. Just print's too small.
Yeah. That's funny. Oh, I know this is a card game, but it's one of my favorites now. That's Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My girlfriend who introduced me to Apples hates it because it kind of just, mutates Apples to Apples and makes it like this perverse game. She's like, oh, I hate Cards Against Humanity. It's terrible. Just play Apples to Apples.
Oh, I love cards.
But I think I like it because of that reason, is that it's...
Yeah.
I started with Apples to Apples, and it's fun when that's the only one you've played, and like you can get some hilarious combinations. I kind of want to share a really good one, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, the robot voice in return. But
Oh.
Go ahead and share it.
That sounds as a robot. Anyway, well, it was Apples to Apples, a really bad one. I think the green card was Senseless.
Oh
And
no.
do you have a guess what the red one was?
Yeah.
It was Helen Keller.
Yeah, it was. It was totally Helen Keller.
That's a bad one. We've had like
that one.
and
That one's
Rachel in
good.
the same hand. We've had bad stuff happen. Okay, I find after you've played Cards Against Humanity, it's hard to play Apples to Apples unless there's no other option.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're with kids, but even then you can still get that. It depends on the kids. But yeah.
That is awesome.
I had to stop playing Cards Against Humanity for a little while because I was playing like my brother and his friends, and then they'd be like saving certain cards for certain people and have all these inside jokes, and I'm like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't
that's
play
kinda
with you
bad.
anymore.
Lame.
That is,
So I always find it annoying when people are like saving one card for one person, and it doesn't even matter what they play. Like,
Yeah.
no, stop it. Stop it.
I feel like it's not too bad to save a card for a person, but like as long as it's something everyone can, I don't know, if something everyone can laugh at, it's like you're trying to get your card picked. And if you pick up a card and it just suits someone so perfectly, and you just need to wait for the opportunity.
Oh yeah, no, like that. That's good. It's like
that's good, but yeah.
they'd always play the card about like getting drunk and passing out in a Wendy's parking lot or something like. Or, no, not Wendy's. It was Denny's parking lot for one friend because he had done that before. So like, the first couple of times it was funny, but then it's just, like they're always playing that card for him, and it doesn't even matter what's happening. Stop it! Stop.
That's funny.
I'm sure with games like that, like kind of like how I had Senseless and Helen Keller, even with Cards Against Humanity, does anybody, like, you don't have to share them because Cards Against Humanity is awful, but do you guys ever have, like, combos in your head that you've done or somebody else has done that are just memorable and you just find hilarious?
I don't have any. I do have a trump card, but it's extremely inappropriate. So I can't. But it's like
It's
one
aired
card.
on YouTube, so you gotta be careful, guys.
Yeah, no.
It's really bad.
I know my trump card isn't Apples to Apples, but I'm not going to say it.
It's an inappropriate one. This actually pops another question in my mind. Cards Against Humanity was a Kickstarter project in 2011, as I read that now.
I did not know that.
Yes, that's how it began. And actually, you can go to the website, and if you have cardstock, you can print off the entire game for free.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So this game apparently got about $15,000 in 2011, so it was 389% funded. So my friends complain about how some of these projects never get off the ground. So were there any that you've seen in crowdfunding campaigns that you think would be really cool, or that you're wondering what happened to it and you backed it?
I don't think. Oh, well, there was this one my friend funded, but I don't remember what it was called. But he got the game and everything, and it was fun.
That's good.
That's the only one I've heard about. I've heard about people funding things and then everything goes completely awry and nothing ever pans out. But I don't think I've ever heard about that specifically. I mean, I'm sure it's happened, but I haven't heard about it in board games or tabletop games.
I think that trend is more for video games because they're obviously more difficult to complete.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's so many on here now that it sounds really fun. We'll have to look around.
I can't back anything else. I have no money.
I know, I have no money right now.
A lot of the
I'm in the
majority,
stage, so
the majority of stuff I back is either I backed a couple of video games. I back a lot of YouTube stuff. Like I backed a crap ton of money on Muzzle the Musical because I wanted to get 2 autograph prints, and so now all my money's gone. But I did back one card game, and it did get funded, and it's all done now. It was Marry Mr. Darcy, so it was like a Pride and Prejudice inspired game.
That's cute.
Yeah, when they got up to a certain level, I think they came out with a Pride and Prejudice and Zombies expansion, and there is an Emma expansion. I pitched in to get the digital copy of the game, but I never pitched in to get a physical copy. I didn't have the money at the time. I kind of wish I did. You know, the box is all nice. I should print it off, but I completely forgot about it, so I'm glad this reminded me. I make people play with me now. It needs to happen.
That's funny. Trying to see what other one. I don't see them. I've gotten funded like one called Harbor that a guy in Utah made, and it's 774% funded. He's gotten over $100,000.
Wow.
Now it's a lighthearted fantasy card game. So he is going to be rolling it.
I'm looking at the.
Go ahead.
Sorry. My sound keeps cutting out on random people. I don't know why.
Oh, I was saying I'm looking at Kickstarter right now. I'm looking at this game called Doctor.
Oh, you cut out.
Yeah. Okay. It's not just me.
It might be my parents' internet because I'm still at my parents' house.
Oh, okay.
That's a bummer. I'll share what I'm looking at on Kickstarter on Twitter.
Okay.
One thing I do like on YouTube is that I mentioned it like 6 times, but they're awesome. The Board with Life channel. They have a new segment they do. They do one every week. I think it's every Tuesday. They'll talk about new games that have just come out, and they also have a Kickstarter corner. They'll feature a game that has a Kickstarter campaign going every week, which I think is really cool. I hear about a lot of games from them, their videos, but they've got new segments too, which they're really helpful.
I'll have to look that up because that seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, one of the videos is one I tweeted one of their videos about the 3. It was top 3 gateway games, by the way, not top 5. I messed up, but yeah, just click on their channel. They've got so many videos. They've got like they got little mini bit skits and actual full episodes and news and everything. There's it's all board games all the time.
Cool.
That is neat.
Have you guys ever read Were Geek? It's a webcomic about RPGs and tabletop games and
That sounds cool, though.
I'll tweet that too.
That sounds really neat.
Tweeting everything.
Tweet.
Yes, I'm retweeting everything.
We should have a Comic-Con hangout about webcomics.
That would be neat.
That'd be cool. I'm just starting in comics, so that would be
I just got a whole bunch from a friend who is getting rid of a lot of his stuff.
I just got this 2 days ago. It's Third in Fables. I love it. It's so good.
Baby.
It's a video game based off it, and now I love the series.
That's awesome.
Sound keeps cutting out on here. I don't know why. Could be my Wi-Fi too.
It might be both. I know we have Comcast here, and it's been a little iffy.
Yeah. Let's see. Did you guys have anything else that you wanted to chat about? I guess we could end a little bit early.
Yeah, I still have work. I'll admit it. Stupid online class thing, but the thing I have to write about is on YouTube, about YouTube, so.
Right about Bored with Life.
Yeah.
I wish I could. It's like any stupid commentary crap. I'm writing a blog post about YouTube, so I can't complain about homework.
That's pretty cool, homework, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I am currently in the process of merging data sets, which I can't do automatically because of the way that the data sets are set up. So I have to go in and like type out different things, and it's taking me. I've probably put like 15 hours into it so far. It's horrible.
That sounds really bad.
Yeah. Political science.
Woohoo!
I'll just wave my little English literature flag right here.
That was my minor. I don't miss it.
What was your major?
My major was journalism.
Cool. Oh, I knew that.
My minor was literature, and it was not always fun. Well, thanks, ladies, for coming and joining us, and thanks again, Amanda, for always being a gracious hostess.
Thank you for always moderating when I ask you to.
I think
I like it when you moderate. You're a good moderator.
Thank you. Maybe one day I'll get paid to do this. That'd be so awesome.
Ooh, maybe we should like Kickstarter Arcana Homing Out.
Yeah.
Actually,
Awesome.
I may as well mention something while we're here really quick. If you guys like doing this kind of thing for other groups, I'm not sure if either of you know of the International Geek Girls Pen Pal Club.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am a part of that.
That is awesome. Obviously, they're doing their summer camp in August, and I'm going to be hosting a hangout then, and I think they're still looking for other people.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys want to do more of that, do that for the summer camp, because they need people.
I'm excited about that, yeah. I'm doing one on freelancing.
I have to look into that.
Yeah, it's a really cool group of girls.
I'm doing a discussion hangout thing about young adult fiction, so that's going to be fun.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
We're actually going to be doing YA fiction here in a couple weeks too.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Oh, we're going to look into that one.
Yeah, I need to go back to my list again to see what's going on.
Well, I was going to say something else. Oh, I was going to say I joined IGPPC a while ago, but the first time I never got into the community because the first time I never heard again from my pen pal. And the second time, my pen pal was in the Philippines, right where the tsunami hit? Tsunami, it was a tsunami, right? So I hadn't heard from her, and I'm like, oh my god, I think my pen pal's dead. But I just heard from her last week, finally, so she's okay, and everything's awesome.
Oh, that's so good.
Good.
I was like, what? I sent her an email, like, right when it happened, and I just heard back from her. And I was like, oh, thank God, because I was pretty sure you were dead.
Good icebreaker. I thought you were dead. Hi.
That should be a blog post, like what happens when your pen pal dies. Like, I'm just kidding, not to be terrible.
I wish I could write that, but it would end up being horrible.
That's a horrible idea.
That's horrible.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I hope they don't hate me now for saying that.
Okay, so, on that note... Oh my gosh. I think I like pulled something in my shoulder laughing so hard.
Oh goodness.
I like pinched a nerve.
Literally and figuratively.
Well,
Alright.
Alright, I've gone.
thank you all again very much. This was really fun, as always.
Alright. So bye bye everyone. We're going off air.
Bye, guys.